Hello friends, thanks so much for tuning in. Glad you could join us. We're coming at you today from Woodland Hills, California and the Los Angeles area. And today we're going to talk about mindset for success. And I'm really pleased to have a special guest with me for the second time on this series. I'd like to introduce my guest, Dave Weckl. Thank you, Dave.
Carl,
thanks so much for joining me again, taking the time. And we're actually coming at you from Dave's studio here, and this is a beautiful place.
Well, thank you. It's my away from everything, 4 white walls, black walls.
It's great though.
But yes, it's great to have my own space to be able to do what I need to do. It's great.
Well, as many of you know, a lot of the people who watch this YouTube channel are musicians, because I was a musician, so I have musician friends, and we've all heard of Dave and seen him and heard him. You may have watched the other video we did about living a healthy lifestyle on the road, and we also talked about some movement efficiency in that one too, which was really fun. But today, you know, I look at people and their growth and evolution over the years. It could be doctors, you know, CEOs of companies, musicians, business people, whoever. And, you know, I look at certain people and I think, man, you know, I wonder what's going on in their head, because the career that they have led has been successful. And so that's what we're here to talk about. So Dave, I wanted to ask you, we talked a little bit off camera beforehand. What is, how do you look at success? Like, in your mind right now, and you can talk about what it means now maybe and what it was in the past and how it's changed over the years, but do you have a way that you look at it, measure it, or what does success mean to you? How do you approach this?
Well, we just kind of put this together today, so I really haven't spent any time thinking about that. So this is pretty spontaneous. Yeah, I mean, for me, success is being able to survive, being able to, you know, do everything I need to do to satisfy my responsibilities where my family is concerned, and you know, and being able to make enough money to support all that, and to you know, because that's first. I mean, we survive on a financial, you know, system. So if we can take care of life, and we can take care of our loved ones and ourselves, and do it, you know, it doesn't mean being rich. It means being able to to survive, you know, and really do it, you know, as comfortable as you can, but you know, just to be able to provide. So you know, that's one aspect of success. Because without that, you can't really do the artistic side. You know, if you're not taking care of business, and it's hard to do anything financially, it makes it really difficult to try to you know, think about being artistic and do that kind of thing. You know,
it's really hard to be creative when you're all stressed out and you don't have enough money, and you know, the troubles and struggling. Exactly,
it does create a lot of stress. You know, so we've all been there, and it's, you know, with this business especially. For me, it's, you know, it's very easy to go back into that stress, and it's always a hustle to keep it all going. You know, so. But I guess, you know, the other side of it, you know, when we get off of that thing, is just, you know, being able to be free to create, which is a phrase that one of my early mentor bosses told me that I'll never forget, in Mr. Chick Corea. And it's basically his motto as well. It's you know, to be free to create, and you know, so you know, in order to be successful at anything that we do, and in my case, whatever it might be on the drums and music, you know, creation and artistic, you know, expression is a big part of that. So so it takes an immense amount of study. It takes an immense amount of practice. it takes an immense amount of social contact and, you know, just kind of being, you know, the type of person that, you know, can work with people, that can do things by themselves with others, so that it becomes a, you know, it gives yourself a lot of options to be successful in different areas of what we do.
Sure.
When I first started doing this when I was a kid, I just wanted to be good. I wanted to be one of the best for me, not judging on what other people thought or what, you know, the fame and fortune of, you know, magazine covers and endorsements and blah, 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 blah. That comes with the territory if you have the mindset, which is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
If you have the mindset of just taking care of you the best that you can, to take care of business the best that you can, where it starts, and it starts with practice, it starts with study, it starts with playing with people, it starts with, you know, marketing and promoting yourself so people know who you are, what you can do to play, and to be as extroverted as possible, especially when you're starting out. You have to go out and hustle and hang out and play every gig that you can, you know, to gain that, to be successful at any level, because it's a stair-stepping thing, you know. You don't just go from nothing to, like, you know, all this success. It's, you know, for me, I went through years and years of schlepping gear and not making much money, and you know, really tough. I mean, and it's still tough to the extent of the travel, the, you know, everything that we have to do to make it work, to go out, play shows for people, and make money.
Travel has changed.
Well, that's travel.
Has that impacted you? Or I know it has, but how much has that added to your level of stress, or let's say work that goes into touring, let's say,
it's
especially
tough.
internationally?
Yeah, it's very tough. It's, you know, one of the benefits one of the benefits of getting older, you know, and being successful enough to travel a lot, is that you start gaining, you know, some VIP status with the airlines. And if you're loyal to one or two airlines, although they're making it tougher too. Every day there's a new rule that changes, that you get. Now you need this much money to qualify, this many miles, you know, it's like crazy. So it's a constant struggle to make it happen, you know, with the travel thing. I remember we'd show up at the airport with a full set of drums, amps, all the stuff, and check it in at curbside and throw a guy $25, you know, and be done with it.
Yeah.
Those days are long gone.
It ain't that way anymore.
Yeah, I mean, now it's a struggle to do anything, you know, get anything on the plane. So, you know, so all of that plays into the, you know, the toughness, but it has to do with the mindset. You know, you have to play into what the rules are. So, no matter what it is, when I first came on the scene, drum machines were everywhere. They just had started to flood the market. Yeah. So I had to kind of learn how to play like a machine, you know, in order. It was like I wasn't going to sit there and go, oh man, drum machines are taking over. I was like, no man, I've got to, like, you know, do what I need to do to compete, so they'll hire me and not the fake sounding drum machine.
Right.
Know? It's like, okay, I'll muffle the drums and make them sound more dead, and, you know, and
that whole era, man.
Yeah.
So we're talking 80s, right? Early 80s, mid 80s.
Early 80s, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I remember that well.
Early mid 80s, yeah. And you know, but it was just, you know, it's, I don't want to make it seem like it was ever easy, because it wasn't, you know, and it isn't still, to keep it going, because and there were times when I really got bummed out, you know, and because I felt like I should be doing more and I wasn't, and blah blah blah, feeling sorry for myself, and, you know, that attitude just doesn't get you anywhere, you know. So I realized very quickly that I had to turn that around into whatever positive it could be, and really kind of kick my own ass to do what I was talking about going out and hanging out, mingling, you know, getting, you know, demos together. I mean, now with the advent of the internet and YouTube and all this stuff that's currently relatively free, that's what I tell all my students, you know, in my school and everywhere else that I might teach. And you've got free advertising now. It's like, where's your YouTube channel? Like, that's your, we used to call it a reel back in the days, because people would actually go around with a tape reel.
Yes, they would.
Here's my demo.
We had one.
I remember sending cassettes to Peter Erskine when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And, you know, and writing resumes and all that stuff. You know, now it's just like, look, this is what I do. I'm, you know, for me, I tell all my students, look, put yourself up there playing every style that you possibly can. You know, look different, put the drums different, do whatever you got to do. You know, but market yourself, and it's free. It's free advertising. So, but that's part of the mindset. It's the thought to, you know, to first of all, again, take care of business of what we have to do. You know, musically, professionally, personally, on this instrument in life, whatever decisions to be made about how much responsibility you want to give yourself early on as a youngster. And with this profession, it's very selfish. You have to spend pretty much all your time doing it, and that's because A, that's what we love to do, and B, that's what it takes.
Yeah, right. It does.
And I think for anybody that is doing anything, we discussed the Malcolm's book, Outliers, the last time.
Yep.
And it talks about the 10,000 hours thing. It talks about all kinds of things, you know, providing the sort of the groundwork for the mindset, you know, so that, again, there's not a lot of stress. There's not, you know, the provisions were there in order to study, in order to practice, in order to do what it takes. You know.
So it looks like what I find is a common theme with people who are, you know, realizing long, successful careers is there's an evolution within that too. You know, first of all, the whole thing about the mindset. I love what you're saying about taking more of a positive approach, because the negativity doesn't really get us anywhere.
Yeah, definitely.
In fact, that will make it so people don't want to work with us, right? They don't want to hire us for whatever. If it's me speaking or you drumming. So the positive aspect and playing for the gig, for the style of. I remember last time we were talking about, and you're going again with Oz Noise in next week, right?
I like that, Oz Noise. It's good.
Oz Noise.
Oz Noise. He's pretty noisy, that guy.
Oz Noise. You were telling me how it's a different type of control and volume that you would play at with him versus, let's say, another band, and that's the consummate professional, obviously, coming out who you're doing your responsibility there, right? That's a huge part of it. But I love the positivity thing is huge. Plus, you're taking like the technology and all these things that have come our way and using them, right? And teaching others to use them to their advantage, using them to your advantage. Free YouTube channel, right?
Right.
That's how YouTube is great.
Yeah, and I mean it's, you know, the more you get into it, the more you learn about what you have to do. And I mean, some things cost money if you want to get into using mixers and systems to mix things and do the film editing with multi-camera shoots and such. But it doesn't have to be that complicated. You know, one of the companies that I endorse is Zoom. The Zoom company, this little Q2N camera here is fantastic. I mean, it's right behind you here. These things have mics,
awesome.
and you know, it's very simple to make your filming these days.
Zoom makes some great stuff.
Yeah.
The other thing you were saying too, just kicking your own butt, because it's kind of like the grind, right? I was actually coming last night on the Enterprise bus going to the Enterprise rental, and the driver was so cool. His name is Alan. We were talking about music, and he's actually a fan of yours and Larber and all these people. He said, "You gonna go to Baked Potato?" Yeah, I am. I've never been there, so I'm going tonight. But anyways, the idea was, he said, people come out here think they're gonna get discovered. Said, it's a grind. You have to work, right? And you obviously
any big city is tough. I mean, especially LA because it's so spread out. And when I first came up, I went through New York and I did the New York thing. And but eventually I ended up out here, more for the climate than anything else. But,
I can relate to that.
Yeah, but yeah, it's you know, you can't make excuses about any of it because there's going to be somebody else who figures out how to do it. So why not it be you?
That's a good point.
You know what I mean? It's like if you're willing to do what it takes, and you've got some of the intellect necessary to do it, then you got to go for it, you know. You got to go for it.
So being the best version of yourself, working hard, obviously practicing, being knowledgeable in many different areas. Of course, with you, it's interesting because you have, you've always been, as far as I know, versatile, not just in the styles you can play, but you're business-wise too. I mean, you've had a lot of DVDs coming out and play along in the '80s with. I know Michael Brecker was on some of the tunes, and
yeah, right. What I was going to say,
that was kind of innovative.
What I was going to say, yeah, to add to the list is that you have to. Well, first there's a couple things. One of them is to try to associate and surround yourself with people that are, can help you, that are smart, that have been there before, that know what to do with certain things. You know, it doesn't mean go out and get a manager. It's like, it's like I had a manager for about 2 minutes when I was in my 20s, and I stopped because I was giving a lot of money away to do. Yeah, I mean, believe me, it's a lot of work. I hardly ever get out of the office before 12 or sometimes 3 in the afternoon before I can get in here, because I'm my own manager. I'm doing all my own stuff to prep tours, to to get equipment here or there, to do booking into next year already. So it's a lot of work, endless emails.
Yeah.
I don't like doing it, but I'm not going to pay somebody else to do it either. So, unless you're just, I mean, believe me, there's times when I say, man, I should pay somebody to really help me here, because I'm not getting enough of the creative side done. But I'm still managing to figure it out. So don't be in a rush to go out and get a manager when you don't need one. Just learn about everything and try to do it. I do have a bookkeeper. I have accountants that do all that kind of stuff. I don't waste a lot of time with that. Keep tabs on it, but there's certain things that I try to delegate for sure. But the most important things are family situations, making sure everybody's cool, that I'm responsible for, and then just getting down to work, getting down to the business. And I have a great marketing manager that's my partner in my online school, Steve Weckl, that really is a big help for me.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
And so like I said, there's always to be with a team, with somebody at least that can help you do things, or even just asking advice to older, more experienced musicians, whatever it might be, that can guide you and send you. And getting with teachers too, getting with teachers that can teach you about what it is you want to learn about.
Well, it's interesting. Another theme that I see a lot of times is you don't always have to know. Like if you have an end, or let's say a particular goal you want to get to, whether it's business or type of performance you want to do, you don't always have to know how you're going to get there. You just have to do the hard work to be ready to be there. And then, like Dave was saying, being social, being proactive, you can't wait for people to come to you. But also, asking advice. I love what you just said about advice, because you can ask people. So you can pay people for advice too, but a lot of times all you have to do, like you said, ask somebody who's already been there and get some guidance, and that can. People actually like to help people generally.
I mean, the younger, like a lot of young people doing that to me now. Now I'm the old guy, right? Used to always be the young guy. What happened?
We both used to be the young guys,
especially me. No, but a lot of youngsters asking. It's like, oh man, what's the best route? And a lot of times I can't answer because it really comes down to the individual choice. There is no answer for some things, but certain things, certain aspects of situations, you can certainly run a scenario and say, look, this is what I did. This is what I recommend. Blah blah blah. And especially when it comes to musical situations or drums, that's what I enjoy doing most, because I've certainly had a lot of those experiences growing up from being in live shows and studios and, a lot of different artists, backing artists, and being a band leader myself. So there's a lot of experience that goes into doing this for 50 years. So
I was going to ask you another question here. It had to do with actually, I don't know, so I'll go on to the next question.
Sorry, I hate that when it happens.
Yeah, a senior moment just came in. I think it had to do with, I know. Okay, so first of all, I emailed Dave yesterday. Well, we emailed back a few days ago, and then all of a sudden I'm here in town asking about meeting in New York City. and he said today, why don't you come over today? So there's no preparation time here, so you don't, it's not fair. She didn't know I was going to ask you this.
Okay.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Edit.
We can edit if we have to. So beyond your love of doing what you do and performing, playing drums, making great music, is there an extension of that, like another reason why you do that? For example, is it to have other people enjoy, maybe, or inspire them, or have, if maybe it's just enjoyment and they go home and say, wow, that was great, or there's an aspiring somebody out there, wow, that was great, I want to do that. Do you have that in your mind ever? Is that part of what's going on while you're performing, or before you perform, or at any point in time?
Well, it depends on what it is. If it's a live performance, if it's a spontaneous live performance, it's always about, you know, first of all, playing with my bandmates and really communicating, making the show, making the recording, whatever it might be, but in a live situation, making that live situation so that we are all comfortable to play and really, really communicate and, you know, have a good time, yes, but, you know, make it, you know, every time I play, it's you know, a lot of people always say, man, why don't you smile more? I was like, I'm too busy to smile, you know, I'm trying to think about what this is serious shit for me, I'm trying to do this, you know, and
can I interject for 1 second, though? Because I just happen to know this about Dave. It's also, you just have you're considering so many people, and your standards are very, very high. Smiling may not be something that's an option, right? I mean,
I'm doing it more these days. I'm actually like figuring out how to have fun while I'm doing this, you know.
But
there's more of that coming out these days. I used to be so hung up on getting everything, you know, so right and so serious about it, you know, that I look at videos from the past now and it's like, man, dude, why don't you smile more? You know? But it's still, for me, it's you know, it's like sitting in the cockpit of an F1 car. I can't imagine that, but boy, would I love to experience it. But you know, it's just such a high level of concentration that you can't, especially with some complex music, you can't not be in it for a minute. Because the minute you smile, you're sort of you're somewhere else. You're not here. So, and that's okay if you're coasting and you're, you know, but man, if you got to concentrate on complex music or just a groove that you're trying to nail, I have to be, for me anyway, I got to be so in it that I'm not thinking about anything else other than that, you know, making it work with either the musicians I'm playing with, or if I'm playing to a track on a computer, I've got to, you know, really nail it, you know.
Well, plus in a lot of the music that you're doing, and especially, well, I've seen you many times and watched, and I think about the creativity that goes on within the complex music too. It's like, I mean, we're talking way, way, way high level of skill is necessary up here and here, and like you say, 1 second away can change everything.
Right. Know? Well, I didn't really technically answer the question. What I mean, you know, the reason I do it and why and all that stuff, you know, is yes, to make other people happy, to enjoy what's going on, but in the moment I'm doing it, I'm there to satisfy my own, you know, my own self of being happy with the level that I'm playing, with the music that I'm making, with the expression that I'm having, that I'm successful in being, you know, both creative and expressing that with freedom, so that there's no inhibitions, and that means physically, mentally, or some other circumstance that's going on, and that's really what it's about. Because if I'm in a good place, then that's going to transmit, you know, to everybody around me and everybody that's playing with me, everybody that's listening. So, and that's why I spend a lot of time, you know, on the setup stage of making sure the kit is comfortable, tuned how I want it, that I've chosen the right heads and cymbals and even sticks if I'm playing a lighter gig, whatever it might be, and then the miking aspect, the mixer aspect, getting all of the sound so that the presentation is what I'm hoping it will be, and
Yeah.
you know, and then after that, it's, you know, there's always circumstances that take hold. There's the audience comes in, the room changes. It's like, you know,
it's amazing how that
and
happens.
hopefully everybody that's there is there for a good positive reason and a good positive time. And
Yeah.
and that's what we try to aim for, and that's what I try to aim for, is just to make it positive. Make it positive. You know, there's, like you said, the negativity, man, in any, you know, way, shape, or form. That's why, you know, you get on the YouTube thing, and there's always that guy or that person, whatever, that's going to start being negative and blasting, and it's like, you know, it's like, dude, look, if you don't like it, go listen to something else.
The troll comment people?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
just like it's, oh, this guy's better than this guy's better. Man,
where do these people come from?
Well, no, I get it. It's
Yeah.
you know, I mean, I get that they want to have an opinion, and the internet is a great place to have an opinion because it's, you know, you can sort of, you know,
It's like a safe zone.
yeah, it's a safe zone. Nobody really knows who you are, and
Yeah.
you can be like, as, you know, as much of an ass as you want to be, and,
Yes, true.
and you can leave, and you can leave the room if they, you know, but you've said your piece, and it's
Exactly.
there,
Yeah.
and it's like, you know, it's like, man, there's no room for that. You know, there's no room for that. If somebody starts doing that on any of our stuff, we just, you're gone and you don't come back. You're blocked. You know?
Yeah.
'Cause it's like, there's no room, man. It's like, we're not here to cause a debate. We're here to, you know, this is not like, you know, like let's find the negative in what somebody's doing.
Yeah.
It's such bullshit. Anyway, I'm always about trying to always look to see what the positive is out of what somebody's doing, even if I don't like it that much. You know, it's like, wait a minute, I need to check this out. If I don't like it, maybe I need to get to know it better. You know, because maybe I don't understand it. You know, so
I've been there too. It's interesting, you know, and I have to admit, I've had the negative approach in the past here and there.
Me too, man, for sure.
And just automatically just, oh, well, that's like, you know. But you know what? I learned, that's great advice too, by the way, get to know it better, is if I allow myself to get to know it better, I might at least appreciate something about it.
Yeah, having an open mind is very important, especially in this business, because you got to be able to take it all in. We all have our favorite stuff and how we want to play, what we like to listen to, all that kind of thing. But you really have to be open to listening to, you know, things from the past that you missed, you know, to understand the history, and listening to current things that, you know, are new.
Do you have anybody in particular, past or present, who, whether it's musician, books you're reading, anything that's who's inspired you or is currently inspiring you, making you think differently?
Not at the real moment, no. But there's always things that happen. Whether it's you know, I just went to Cuba recently, which was a huge eye-opening, fun experience to really go to, you know, the country where a lot of my favorite music and musicians that I know come from.
That's so cool.
So that was very inspiring. At the moment, no, I'm honestly so busy mixing a couple of projects and recording some stuff for my online school that I'm, you know, it's like going to bed, there's no time to read. It's like sleep for, you know, 6-7 hours, get up and get back to work. You know,
so I hear in Cuba they have some kind of cool old cars down there too.
Well, you know, it's funny.
Dave and I like cars, especially fast cars.
Yeah. They you know, it's a big thing, you know, because in the late 40s, early 50s, and I think all the way up until maybe 59, 60, somewhere around there, they were getting the cars, you know?
Right.
And that's the big thing down there. It's like, oh, you pay for a taxi ride in a 55 Chevy convertible, and the one we were in was cut off at the roof.
Oh, really?
It was handmade. It was a kind of a handmade, you know, convertible. It had a Mitsubishi truck engine in it, diesel engine, not original, nothing. I mean, it was a jalopy, you know. But
a 55 Chevy, you said?
Yeah. Wow. But some of them, and they're really like, you know, there's the fumes are just like, you die, right?
Yeah.
But some of them are original. I've been told that they actually sometimes take the engines out and preserve them until they get hired for a real special wedding or something, where they'll put them back in the car, and you know, and those are the top of the heap that are down there. But yeah, every kind of old car, but it stops like at 59 or 60. You don't see anything.
Right, that's when that exporting ended.
Right.
So you have, just want to talk a little bit about things you're doing. You can talk about whatever you want, obviously, but I want to mention your school, your online school. The website for that is it DaveWeckl.com?
DaveWeckl.com is the best place to go.
I'll put a link on the screen.
Yeah.
But the school is incredible.
Thanks.
So yeah, it's really great because you're taking things to another level, deeper, with a lot of great detailed explanations, and I love it.
Yeah, well, the thing, you know, I've been wanting to do kind of a follow-up and a new thing since my last DVD, which was in 2000, I think, you know, which was the Natural Evolution series with Carl Fisher at the time. And you know, the DVDs are just so, you know, limiting because it's that moment, it's what you're talking about, and that's it. And it's there forever, it's cool. But, you know, with the school, we decided to do this streaming format for any of the new stuff and going forward, because I could go back and edit it, I could add to it, and we're constantly adding stuff. You know, there's over 25 hours of material on the site now, and it's a streaming service. It's, you know, we have a monthly or a yearly fee right now, and it's $30 a month, but I don't remember what the yearly is. But
I don't remember either. But even at $30 a month, it's I personally, I think it's I'm not just saying this because I'm with you. It's a really good deal. I mean,
well, thanks.
Like, you won't get that kind of an education anywhere else for $30 a month.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of great, you know, streaming sites out there, and a lot of great players that are doing it as well. But yeah, my thing is my thing. It's
exactly
the world according to Dave. And
but I also you've influenced so many people too. I mean, it's you know this, and so that me being one of them, really appreciate this school. It's really great.
Yeah, but I also invite other players and other people to come in and interview them and talk about stuff, because, you know, nobody knows everything for sure. And it's been a great learning experience for me too, to kind of go in and have to analyze what I'm going to talk about, and then go do the research and study. The brush course, for example, I have to go look up everybody that ever played brushes, and past and present, and check them out, and give credit to those people in the course. So. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of play-along stuff. There's a lot of on-the-road courses that I'll film a show and talk about and do a lesson on one of the charts from Chick or Stern or somebody.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it's a lot of info, and I think we do it right here in the room, and I'm happy with it. I'm proud of it, and it's a lot of work to keep it going, but I'm really digging it. And actually, the one thing that makes it really special for us is that we have a private Facebook page. That is a private page. You can only get on it if you're in the school, and I'm on there all the time. It's the only place that I make the time to do any social media stuff with the students that come in. They put up videos. Everybody chimes in. It's like a little community, and it's very cool.
People get to communicate that way and converse and learn.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting when you do. I do education in a different format for the neurorehabilitation stuff that I do, but teaching has caused me to learn more than any studying ever did.
Yeah,
and I really enjoy it a lot. So it's very, very cool. So part of your legacy, right? It's fantastic.
It's part of whatever it is I'm doing.
Whatever it is, whatever it is. Yeah. So we did talk about this in the beginning. I wanted to ask you if you have. It might be hard to do this, but if you were to give one piece of advice, or one concept of advice to people about success in general, what would that be?
Take care of yourself. Be healthy.
That's good.
Yeah, because without that, we have nothing. If you don't take care of your body, if you don't take care of your health, we can't do anything.
Yeah.
So if we're taking care of things, and we're because that really helps the state of mind when you're talking about mindset.
Yes.
To be positive, you have to, at least for me, I got to feel good about myself and know that I'm doing the best I can to take care of myself, to stay in shape, to eat healthy, to not abuse anything, and just to keep it on the up and narrow, man, and after that, you are free to do whatever you want. You give yourself the license to sit here as long as you want to.
Yeah.
to practice, to develop, to do, to write, to create. You know, if you're sick and you're not feeling well and you're always in bed and you're not doing well, you really don't have a shot at doing much of anything. That you
I love that actually nobody's ever answered that question so quickly. So, but you did it. But you know what? That is the foundation, right? Because without that,
you must not be interviewing young people or older people. Then you must be interviewing mostly young people. Because as the older we get, we think about this even more.
No.
Yeah.
No, they're all over 50.
Yeah.
And you're the first one to say health.
Yeah. Well, but think about it.
Well, not the first one, but to give that as the final piece of advice, or let's say the takeaway.
Yeah.
Because I think it's so important. I mean, I had my own wake-up call years ago, and I had to change my lifestyle so I could function better.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't really do anything very well.
Yeah, I mean, we all know what we have to do with practice and study and playing. And, that's a given. I mean, it's not a given. We because that's hard work.
Right.
But it's what we put in our bodies, eating. It's how we sleep. The people we surround ourselves with, that's all having to do with health, mentally and physically, so, you've got to take care of that. Otherwise, it's going to be tough.
Is there anything else going on you want to tell us about? Besides, before he does, I want to see, I'll put a link on the screen to our other interview about the healthy lifestyle on the road. You can click over to that. We'll also talk about some moving efficiency there, because one of the things I love about the way you play is you just make it look so easy. But
the older I get, I can't move so much. So I'm having to watch injuries, and but yeah, it's trying to be flowing.
Then when I was sitting behind the kit earlier, I mean, it wouldn't work for me, but looking the way you are, obviously.
Well, it's all based on the traditional grip, so that things are very
right, and your height and how you sit. Are you a heel player, or do you play heels up, heels down?
My heels are off the ground when I play all the time.
I've never been able to do that.
Yeah,
I feel like if I did
it's a balance thing.
I think if I do that, if I learn, maybe improve my posture as I play.
Because it forces you to come back a little bit. You can't play heel up and move.
So it's kind of like a balancing act, though. Really. Wow.
But you got to balance here.
Exactly, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Not down there.
No, exactly. It's I feel it right here in my glutes, bottom of the spine.
Yeah.
Okay.
I won't say any of it's easy on the back, but especially as we get older. But I try to really be ergonomic with the kit, that it makes sense for all of natural body movement. So.
Yeah, it's cool. And the other interview we talk about it. You didn't have the kit because we were in your hotel room, but with this, it's just I just noticed how everything is. It's just you make it easy to get to, right? It has to be accessible.
A lot of the music I play is high energy, a lot of notes, a lot of movement. That if I have to reach for things, it's way more difficult to execute. So
it can start to hurt sometimes.
Yeah, well, like I said, diet has a lot to do with that too.
It does.
Yeah.
So check out that interview, and if there's anything else you want to mention that's going on, I know you have a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we're just, I'm continuing to tour with Oz Noy. We have a tour coming up with Jimmy Haslip in, this next month. I don't know when they're going to air this, but we're out in March. In April, we'll be in Europe with Mike Stern and Tom Kennedy and Bob Franceschini.
Oh, I love Bob. He's cool.
And I think we're going to China in May for a little bit, and then back. Get some summer stuff with Stern again, and then doing a few things in Japan with Chick, with the acoustic trio, and one hit with the electric band in September.
Oh, where's that going to be?
Japan.
Oh, Japan. Okay.
Yeah.
You might have just said that, but I just spaced out.
Tokyo, I think, is where we're going to be based. And then the rest of the year, I'm kind of still deciding what I'm going to do. I have some choices.
Am I allowed to mention what you were recording last week?
What was I recording last week?
Lorber?
Oh, the Lorber thing?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I posted something about that on Instagram.
Oh, it was you? Okay, yeah. He's recording with Lorber and Stern and Haslip.
That's right.
Anybody else on that project?
I think Novak is also playing drums on half the project as well.
Okay.
We've been doing that lately. We've been ending up like half and half on the project. So Gary's a great friend and great player. So
I've never seen him. I'll just check him out sometime.
It's tremendous. It's wonderful.
Well, that's great. I'm looking forward to that. Have Lorber and Stern worked together before?
No, it was the first time they're doing this. So yeah, we had fun. We had fun doing it. I'm anxious to see how it comes out.
That's awesome.
And I'm also contemplating putting a few of my own things together, but I got to stop saying no to everybody else first. So
Dave Weckl Band?
yeah, well, something. Yeah,
Something like that?
We'll see.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Well, good.
Right.
Well, hey, man, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks very much. It's really good to be here. Good to see you again.
All right.
I'm really happy for all the things that you're doing. It's personally, it's good for me because I've always been a fan since
Thanks, man.
the early '80s.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Bill Connor's albums.
Oh yeah, right.
Step It.
1984.
Step It. That was wow. Well, anyways, thank you, Dave.
Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. Be sure to go to daveweckl.com. Check out the tour schedule. Check out the information on the site. Check out the school.
Correct.
And it's fantastic. And then hopefully you'll get to click over to the other interview, check that out, and share this with your friends. And thank you for watching. Have a fantastic day.
See ya.